BlizzCon! Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fiverwatch. My name is Altair.
Mayor.
Candy.
Mika.
And we're here to talk about all things geek. We talk about video games, we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and all the other geek stuff we love. This episode, we're gonna focus on BlizzCon 2021. If you didn't know, Blizzard Entertainment just turned 30 years old. The studio that brought us well-loved games like Diablo, Warcraft, StarCraft, Overwatch. They always celebrate a yearly convention, but this year they celebrated it fully online. If you weren't able to catch that, we've got you covered. We're gonna cover updates, we're gonna talk about what to look forward in the future, and most importantly, we're gonna talk about why Blizzard games have been a very important part of our lives as gamers. So stay tuned.
I think you were the one who said it out there. Like this BlizzCon was really for the titos and titas of Blizzard, and you know it was like 30-year celebration, and we are just we're in that we're in that match. we're there. We're somewhere there.
BlizzConline celebrated this Feb, but it was actually supposed to be a celebration of last year. So they didn't have it last year, so because of the pandemic, they moved it to this Feb. It's their first virtual BlizzCon, and it coincided with the 30th anniversary of Blizzard. So we don't know if BlizzCon or BlizzConline will still happen in November of 2021, which is the usual date. I really hope they do. It's just a question of whether they're gonna still make it virtual or if it's gonna be in person.
Yeah.
It will really depend on how the
It's
pandemic
more
plays out
news.
in the rest of the year.
It's more news of their games, which is fine.
It's more hype to go around with, yeah. Blizzard 30 years. Ever since I was a teenager, there were always Blizzard games, and I'm sure that you guys also grew up with Blizzard games as well. What place does Blizzard have in your gaming history?
Blizzard was the one that got me into video games, because the very first game that I actually I guess turned me into a gamer was actually StarCraft 2. I had a group of friends, they were so excited for the release of StarCraft 2, and I was like, whoa, what's this? And they're like, oh, you don't know StarCraft? It's about this. Oh, Jim Raynor and Kerrigan and ganon. And then I started playing it too, of course, because they were playing it. I got addicted to the game, and that's what really, brought me from being like, I would say maybe a casual gamer where it's like, okay, I play this game and goodbye. And into really being immersed in like a world and storytelling and really geeking out about everything. So it's actually thanks to Blizzard that I am now like this like this now. Are you proud, Blizzard?
Look at what you've done.
Look at what you've done.
So for me, it goes way back, like way back. So I think the first one was indeed Diablo 1. Diablo 1 was very special because my older brother bought an original. He ordered it from the States.
Nice.
During that time. And it came with the manual. And I remember it very vividly because one day while we were playing, my brother and I were playing in one computer, I was watching, right? My mom comes in with a laundry and she sees the manual on the bed. So she opened the thing, right? And then she had this look on her face. The screen was like us hacking out like zombies, right? And then there was blood, although it was pixelated blood. There was blood nonetheless, right? And then all this like religious symbols around the stage, and
pentagrams.
So it was when my mom gave us the first talk on video games.
Floppy
So there,
disk.
that was my first foray into a Blizzard game. It was pretty memorable.
So I was introduced to World of Warcraft by Altair and Mayor, actually.
Yeah.
So back
He
in
never stopped
back,
it.
and I never stopped. So guys, this is your fault.
This is another.
Why I'm like this?
This is what you've done to me.
Yeah.
You think?
Started it in 2010 with World of Warcraft, and then haven't stopped since. And
Yeah.
I'm only playing 2 games, and that's World of Warcraft and Overwatch, and never giving them up.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Super solid. So many, so many fun memories. I'm not sure if Mika knows this, but we all got into a private server back then. I'm not sure if Blizzard will be happy about this, but we all got into a private server. We all had a guild, and at the time, I guess none of us had credit cards. We couldn't afford WoW in the first place, so it was our only option to play WoW. But it was great because all of our friends got into WoW. We all made our characters, even if the server was buggy and half the dungeons didn't work. It was just fun to have all of us all in one guild. Killing Alliance, or was it Horde?
Yeah.
Was it Horde or Alliance? Were we Horde?
We were
We're
Alliance.
Horde.
We were Alliance.
We were Horde.
Alliance.
Ah,
Yeah.
we were Alliance.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
We were Alliance and private server.
Yeah.
Like we're Horde now. Blizzard, I am a respectful member now of the retail community. So
Yes.
please.
Oh, yeah.
Alright guys, so I think it's time that we talk about World of Warcraft and what Blizzard's cooking up for the next update of Shadowlands. Let's check out this video. It's a Chains of Domination, the new patch of WoW. For me, they
that's
didn't
really
really
content.
release much, but what we know is there's a story update, there's flying, and there's a new raid. There's gonna be a new raid, and the new raid
Yep.
is gonna be Sylvanas.
No, I've always still held out the hope that she's gonna turn
Okay.
good. And
I think
that's
there is credence to that, right? Because the story-wise, Sylvanas has come a long way in terms of how they wanted her to be portrayed. Burned down Teldrassil, so people were like, "What the hell, that bitch?"
Yeah, psycho
Right?
bitch.
And as you move forward with her story, I think Shadowlands is her story, basically. It's
I think
hers.
so. I think so.
There is hope that he might turn good because she had this like longing, like wistful look
This last
at Anduin
look
when he was
towards
evil.
Anduin, yeah.
Like parang, uy, may nafe-feel siya.
Do you
Or
think?
she's
Do you
regretting
think
level.
that?
something.
Do you think that Blizzard will actually sort of like have a path wherein there is a choice maybe
Ooh.
to save her or redeem her or like
That-
That's
Just-
a good
just leave her
question,
to-
and that's a system that Blizzard still hasn't been able to sort of
Yes,
implement
choice.
in
Mm.
their
Yeah.
quest lines, in their stories. They tried that. They actually tried that in BFA. If you had a choice to betray Sylvanas
The
or go
war
with
chief.
Sylvanas,
Yeah.
it didn't really have actual consequences.
The
It just-
same.
the
Parang
It
consequences
did
that
the
you were
same
gonna,
thing. Yeah. It went like that.
Ganyan.
that went like that.
Tapos babalik ako.
It was fake
So-
choice.
Like
Yeah.
the only consequence that you would get there is, I think, not getting a particular cosmetic item, if I'm not mistaken, or is it? That might be another quest that I'm thinking
That's
of.
it. Yeah.
But
it was a
there was no
cosmetic item.
real,
A toy.
there
It was
was
a
no
toy.
real consequence. For us toy collectors, it was a big thing.
Exactly. So
I mean, it might be the whole choice thing might be difficult to implement on an MMO because I don't even want to think
True.
about how that works. And
Yeah,
the
like-
back end. But I was talking with another like WoW streamer, and he was just like of the opinion like, no, there's no saving her. No, we have to kill her. No, she's bad.
Mhm.
And so it's
That's
interesting to
why.
hear. So it's interesting to hear this other point of view where it's like, oh no,
No,
she's
my
still has some
feel-
good. So I'm like,
My feel is Blizzard might go the middle ground, wherein
I have a
Still-
question.
she'll turn at the end, Okay, she'll have her hero redemption moment, but she's not gonna come out alive. I feel.
Could be. Well, you have a point there. But before
Can
I
be.
go and discuss your point there, Mika, I have a question. Is that WoW streamer Alliance or Horde?
I think yes,
Most
both.
likely Alliance. Most likely Alliance. If you want to
He
talk
seems like-
Sylvanas,
he
it's
seems like a
definitely
pally.
Alliance.
He seems like a pally.
those
Nice to, if you're
paladins.
watching.
Pally, both
Those
sides
paladins.
can
Nice
play
to
a
if you're
pally,
watching.
but-
You're such a pally. You're such a pally.
No, I would
Them
think that he's
paladins.
actually Alliance. And then I understand if you play actually in the Alliance, you do get
There's no
you know,
sympathy.
you-
There's no sympathy for.
there's some sympathy
yeah.
towards Sylvanas. But for those who are of the Horde who have followed her since since then,
This is so interesting.
no, but yeah, I've been a fan of Sylvanas ever since. In her storyline, the storyline was really quite unfair. Her life got cut off for her, and I think it's why, I do want to get into Mayor's point of view in terms of turning her around, because the reason why she's doing all this, she has a deeper reason why she's doing all this. It's
Mhm.
not. It may be a little bit selfish, but she's also trying to sort of like have a choice for the people. For her people, the Forsaken, maybe the Horde, or for those who actually die and go to the Shadowlands, she wants them to have a choice, which is something that she didn't get. So in her frame of mind, she has a purpose.
Mhm.
It's not all, I want to dominate the world and kill everybody. But there is a purpose, and she has accepted that she will destroy a lot of things to get to that purpose.
And she's not afraid to become the bad guy and to take big risks in order to make whatever she's trying to do happen. I've always been a fan of, like I said, Blizzard storytelling, and I think it would be a weaker story if they just call her a bad guy. I mean, that's such an easy story to write, but if I know the Blizzard writers have their head on their shoulders, I would make a twist there, because I know that ever since Blizzard has been making Sylvanas into an anti-hero, but then the kind of anti-hero that has a purpose. So if she has to be the bad guy, then so be it. She'll do it if it's gonna save her people. Sylvanas was right. Hashtag Sylvanas was right.
I'm smiling. I'm
Yeah.
smiling.
Hashtag Sylvanas was right.
I'm smiling because this is why sociologists study WoW. I'm smiling because this is like I won't get into
Yeah.
that, but yeah,
Will-
I'm just like
Sylvanas will reset the world, and all of us will be playing classic WoW.
Maybe that's it.
I also just want to say that I remember this moment when I was in BlizzCon 2019 and we were about to go inside and like the convention was about to open. I remember we were going inside and then I heard a horn, like a horn.
Uh-huh.
I heard a horn and I was like, what the? I heard a horn and then right in the middle, in like the middle of like there's this fountain. Like if it were in, for example, Mall of Asia, it'd be like by the globe. Suddenly there were two banners that went up for Alliance and Horde. And then you saw the crowd. You saw the crowd in front part and go to the underneath their respective banners. And I was like, oh
Nice.
my god.
Nice. But I think that's the strength of Blizzard. They really are able to put story and like to make people like side for the Horde, for Alliance. If you're Protoss, Zerg, or
Talon.
Overwatch, if you're Talon, like they're able to make these franchises, to make these characters super solid that people really rally behind, and they're super original characters. So that's always, ever since, what I've always looked up to about Blizzard. Ever since, that's been their strongest point, and I hope
I agree.
I hope in the future, they continue to make that one of the most important things, because it's still the reason why I play.
I agree, and for me, that's also why. I said that I only play World of Warcraft and Overwatch because, hey, time constraints, work, home, responsibilities, right?
Lots.
As it is, juggling both is hard.
Yeah.
But we have with Out There and Mayor and even Mika, we have dabbled in other MMOs, and
Yeah.
my question is always, this is it? The storyline, this is it? So it's like the reason why I love World of Warcraft and Overwatch is maybe it's the never-ending factor, is that there's so much more to explore, there's so much more story to learn, there's so much to be in. It's that feeling of being immersed
There's so much
here in
mounts.
this world that doesn't. I mean, admittedly, Blizzard knows how to keep their fan base or their community interested. But really, it's the storylines, which I hope that will never deteriorate, is what keeps these franchises going.
For me, it's community.
That's
Because
true.
we talked about how Blizzard is really good at storytelling, but that's for me that's only half of the equation. Because Blizzard has had many misgivings about how they roll out certain content with their games. Some content people didn't really like. Some of the systems in WoW wasn't always that acceptable,
Hmm.
right? But the one thing that held together was like, yeah, it's playing a little bit weird this time around, but when I
Yeah.
see an alliance, I want to kill him, right? So it's this community thing. Na I remember even when we were playing in, I want to go back to the private server days,
Yeah, yeah,
wherein we
yeah.
had this one guild.
Yeah.
We had this one guild of the opposing faction. Si Veni Vidi Vici. I
Uh,
still remember their name. Whenever we see them in Stranglethorn Vale, even if we're just killing Quillbors, we take our time to kill them.
just drop
Like
drop everything and kill him.
even if I'm level 60 and the guy's level 5, if I see that build, I just
He's
like
going
kill him,
down.
right? Yeah. And then when that guy dies, we spawn his camp. So when he respawns, we kill him again, right? And then he calls on his guild, other guild mates, and we call on our guild mates. And by the end of the day, it was a guild versus guild thing in
Uh,
Stranglethorn Vale.
Tapos we're just
So
standing in opposite sides. We're like, ano.
yeah.
Sugod ka, ano?
So those kinds of like you don't get a lot of that kind of community interaction in other franchises
Yes.
outside of Blizzard.
Yeah.
I think it's a special relationship that Blizzard has created. Like, siguro anecdote na lang for me about my
Right.
Alliance Horde encounter in the elevator.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I think I know this, but
Right.
please
Go,
tell
go.
it,
Yeah.
tell it.
So I was wearing this one, my Horde jacket
Yeah.
right here. I went inside, and then there was a girl. Okay, and then the first thing I spotted, she was wearing an Alliance jacket. So I'm like, oh, gamer, right? So we were both standing. I was about to leave first. She was on a higher floor. I was about to leave first. So before I left, I pressed all of the buttons. Right? Before her floor. Right? And then so when the elevator opened, I stepped out, right? And when I turned back, he had this kind of like WTF face, right? Like, what did you just do? And I raised my jacket and I said, for the Horde.
Yeah!
And then the elevator started closing like that. And then
For the
God.
horde!
like I felt a sense of fulfillment that I have never felt before. Like I did one for the war thief.
Mm.
Like we have lost many wars, but this battle, I won this battle for the horde. Right? So
That's a
I don't know if
commercial.
even
That
that's
is.
her jacket or maybe it was her boyfriend's jacket. I don't care.
She just
But for
went
that
out and she
moment-
just borrowed her boyfriend's jacket, and now you ruined her day. And she's
the
probably
horde.
thinking, what the?
It's for the horde!
But it fulfilled mine. It fulfilled mine.
And then she's probably
So-
thinking like, oh my god, she goes home, she's like, babe, you know this guy, you know?
This asshole delayed me in the elevator. I was like, oh, alliance.
Horde yun, no? Horde yun, no?
Horde yung
Red ba yung
kasama
jacket
horde.
niya?
Oo.
Red
Oo.
yung jacket niya, di ba? Oh, Horde yun.
Mukhang torrent,
Yeah.
ganun.
So those little things, like, I think both it's prominent in WoW, over in Overwatch as well. Blizzard is like a home cooked meal, comfort food.
Yeah,
It's like comfort food. Diba? It's more on the something that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
When they play, they're like, oh, I remember this feeling. I remember my guildmates 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, it's always been a pleasure playing Blizzard games. Yeah.
Funny because these guys know this. I never had enough time to play like World of Warcraft. Funnily enough, because this is also Blizzard's fault, Blizzard basically opened the doors for me to get into esports and gaming. And as anybody in esports and gaming will know, when you're in the esports industry, you will never have time to play video games. Never, never. But anyway, like it's always been like, you know, such a treat when like, you know, you have friends who play WoW and they talk about the relationships that you actually form in the game are like the most real relationships you will form. Like, you know, you go through heaven and hell, I guess, with your guildmates. You have, you know, people who find love, you have people who break up, you have people who have babies, get married, and you know, and because of, you know, it was the OG time killer from way back when, you actually have a whole generation that grew up in this world. And it's
That's
so
true.
fascinating to discover. I mean, this is why, like I mentioned earlier, like sociologists actually study WoW, because like,
Mhm.
for example, this pandemic that we're having right now, the behavior patterns of which were actually found in WoW like so many years ago.
Yep.
It's really fascinating. And that's why, like, a game like this, World of Warcraft, it's not something that you can ignore if you are in this space.
For sure. Blizzard has brought, I think, our generation together in one way or another. I mean, with World of Warcraft, with Overwatch, with you guys, with Diablo, StarCraft. I mean, there are so many like memories that I can tell with different sets of friends, with different people, and those are all memories that people will all be able to relate to. It's such an easy thing to relate to, and I think that's one of the strengths of Blizzard. That's why I guess they're gunning at that. They're gunning at the nostalgia because that's their strength. I mean, they were able to walk with an entire generation and give them fantasies. I think that's really one of Blizzard's strength. So guys, thank you so much for watching our BlizzCon special. Next episode we're going to be talking about Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, so be sure to check that out. So once again, this has been Altair,
Mayor.
Candy,
And Mika.
and we'll see you in the next one.
bye. See you online.
See you online. For the Horde!